Hello everyone, and welcome to the Chevy Infotainment 3 Tech Help video. In this video, we hope to give you guys a better understanding of everything you need to know about this new infotainment system from Chevy. This replaces the old system, which was previously called MyLink, and it does come with all the newest features, just like in other GM vehicles. So we'll go ahead and get started. And when you first boot up the vehicle, where you're going to default is in a display like this, where you just have your applications listed out. However, if you go over once more, this is your home screen. This is new to the Infotainment 3 system versus the MyLink system. And you will also notice with the system, you have these convenient shortcut buttons along the bottom here. So you got your home button, you have some shortcuts to your recently used things, and you do have the ability to quickly toggle into a few different things like your date and time. Now in this specific vehicle, we also have some physical buttons underneath of it to control the system as well, but you won't always have that. Now we'll go ahead and head on over and start going through the features individually here. So what I'm going to do is start out with your audio section. Where this defaults just looks very similar to most vehicles. So we're here on the radio, so we have the ability to tune and skip through different channels. You will also notice your presets go across the top here. You have got a couple different pages which you can page through with the little arrow there. And to set a new preset, all you have to do is hold as it says. So what you do is just click that, and then right there in that position now, this radio station has been saved. Now we also do have a browse function. This will allow you to actually see which radio stations are available. So say you're looking for something specifically, you don't want to go through the whole tuning process. So I recognize that radio station, for instance, so it actually says the name out. That's a pretty interesting feature. I haven't seen that ability to browse with just regular FM radio stations. In a similar way, you have XM satellite radio. They have their own presets. We can play and pause the music. You can also browse and change the settings. And then when you hit the more button, this is where you'll see all of your possible available audio sources. We'll go ahead and come back to the home screen here and move into phone. Right now we do not have a phone connected. I'm having trouble getting this to connect since it's in demo mode right now. But this does work the same way as it does in most other vehicles. You have a keypad by default. You also have a list view of your contacts, and you can sort those by letter or do a search. And you can save favorites as well. Next up we have our navigation system. Now this is one of the biggest step ups for the Chevy Infotainment 3 system because it comes with this new navigation system. It's much more dynamic than it was before. So what you're looking at is having a lot more features basically. As you can see right here, we have a glowing area. This is our traffic representation, so we have live traffic. You're probably also noticing we have pinch to zoom, and it's very, very responsive, really quick. The graphics are much improved, and we even have some special features, kind of like Google Maps, so you can tilt it. These are really nice features to have. Right across the top here, you always have a little search bar here, so you can just really quickly jump straight into typing out some type of address here. We have that little arrow there that brings us to our options for what we can set up the navigation system to be. So we can put it in 3D as well as change the orientation. We also have the option to show what POIs we want to be on the map. So this is very nice. For instance, we're in a Silverado heavy duty. So we may be visiting gas stations quite frequently, for instance. So I may want fuel stations to always show up on the map, or I like to eat a lot of fast food, so I'll check those off, and then those POIs will then be on the map, so you can see they were just populated on here. Now carrying on through some of the features here, we do have a Wi-Fi hotspot on pretty much every single General Motors vehicle. So when you have that function, this is where you will go into to find both the Wi-Fi name as well as the password that's going to be required to sign into it. And this is a big scramble of letters, but you can actually change that to something, easier if it's something you frequently are connecting to. This is where you turn it on and off, and you can also choose which devices you want on and off the system. That is free, usually for a trial period of about 1 month, and then after that you will have to pay for it. Next step here is our user section. Now, this is a very interesting feature. Basically, it links your key to the actual person and the settings inside of this system now. So if since it's a lot more customizable than it used to be, for instance, a person and their spouse, they could have different settings linked to different types of keys. And you will notice that it says this can even be moved between vehicles. So this is a smart thing that works between all General Motors vehicles. Now our next two features here are both Apple CarPlay and Android Auto. This is a built-in feature of the Infotainment 3 system, and it does come on most General Motors vehicles. Of course, here it works the same as in any other model. You also have your Onstar Services button. This is different than it used to be because it does separate things out. You don't have to do it via voice commands. But as you can see, you can call things, get directions, do the same stuff you're used to. You can also check and see your account status, like when it's going to expire, how much data you have available. Right now we're in the demonstration mode. In most Chevy vehicles, you will also have the ability to adjust the climate controls up here, so long as you have automatic climate control, of course. We also have a button called My Chevy, and this basically just contains different types of information. It does allow you to schedule a service visit. You can check your service plan, but most importantly, you actually have the owner's manual rendered digitally in here, so we can look for a certain feature. So when I search for tire here, it brought us to lots of different things about tires. So I want to know, let's see, how often I should rotate the tires. So now it pulls us straight into this section and tells me that on this heavy duty Silverado, tires should be rotated every 7,500 miles. Now that's pretty much the main features. So now we're going to dig into kind of the nitty-gritty details here. So when you click into the settings, this is where you'll come to a 3-tab setup. So you have System, Apps, and Vehicle all split up to make it easier for you to tell which thing you're looking at. Here's where you'll find your phones, where to add some phones or delete some phones that have been connected via the Bluetooth. You also have Wi-Fi networks. This is not the Wi-Fi hotspot. This is actually where you can connect to your home's Wi-Fi if you want to download like an system update or something like that, and not use a bunch of personal data that you're paying for. We have a section called Privacy. You can actually turn on and off your location services as well as your voice recognition sharing with the General Motors servers. Voice commands is a very good thing to look at. They do allow you to decide how often, like how much talking you want as far as instructions. So confirm less does not talk you through so many steps, but when you first get a vehicle, you may want to set it on confirm more, and it just kind of coach you through what types of voice commands that you can and cannot use. Now as for the next section, this brings us to our apps. Now this is a very important part because what a lot of people don't realize is that you do need to enable both Android Auto and Apple CarPlay. Right here you have to turn them on. That way when you plug in a phone, it will automatically detect. So if you're having trouble with that, with the system recognizing that you plugged in an Android Auto or Apple CarPlay device, make sure you head into the settings and those are both turned on. This is where you'll adjust the audio systems settings so we can turn up and down the bass, mid-range, and treble. And there is even the ability to filter out explicit content. As far as navigation, you have plenty of different settings available as well. Set up My Places will let you set favorites, set things like your home address, so you can say navigate to home. We do have map preferences, route preferences, for instance, fastest versus the most eco-friendly. You can also avoid things like toll roads, for instance. Heading on down, we have traffic information. We do already, as already pointed out, we have traffic showing on the map, but we also have, it has the ability to interrupt you and ask you if you want to find if that it's found a better route and if you want to do that. And then the last section here is vehicle. I'm not going to dig too much into this because this part does vary depending on what type of vehicle you own, of course. But you do have certain things across most of the vehicles, so you'll notice things like your teen driver functions is on every General Motors vehicle. You will have locking and unlocking settings, as well as how long you want the auto headlights to stay on after you lock the vehicle, different things like that. But anyways, that's it for the Chevy Infotainment 3 Tech Help video. Hopefully you found this helpful and you learned some new things that will help you be able to use your vehicle more effectively and make use of all the features that Chevy has built into the system. If you have any questions or concerns, make sure to leave a comment down below and we'll do our best to answer any of those questions. And take care. We'll see you next time.